if you listen to rap music, then you might hear a lot of rappers, especially Central C, always talking about generational wealth. I want to make generational wealth. And when you grow up poor, it's understandable why you'd want to make so much money that it's generational. Generational wealth, meaning that you've made so much money that your kids can, feed off the money that you made because you are that much of a baller. Yeah, you're so rich that it's generational. It's passing through the generations. And I can understand why. But if you really think about it and ask yourself, let's just say you want to, become super, super rich and have generational wealth. Ask yourself really and truly, why? Like, actually, why? Because, Simon Cowell recently announced, I think he said in an interview or something, he said that he's basically not going to give his £600 million fortune to his son. Yeah? He said, what do you say? I don't believe in passing on from generation to generation. College will be paid for, and then he'll have to make his own way. Now, whether this is true or it's not true, I have something to say. I mean, if it's true, I've got an opinion, and if it's fake, then I also got my opinion. However, college will be paid for. Look, when you go through life and you're not being spoon-fed, I am low-key all for it because, when you go through suffering and you go through hardship, that is where lessons come from, yeah? You need that in life, yeah? However, if your dad's Simon Cowell and he's balling, he's got all that money and he don't give you anything, I would be pissed. I think you'd all be pretty pissed. Like, you're struggling, your dad's got all that money or whatever, and he's just giving it away to flipping, what did he say? I think he's giving it away to charities and dog charities or something like that, which is kind of mad. I don't know if it's just me, yeah, but does it feel like sometimes in the UK, maybe it's just me in it, but sometimes these guys care more about dogs than they care about actual human beings. Like, they might see flipping, someone be from a war-torn country going through it, and they, won't really care or anything, but then they'll see a flipping dog on the side of a road and they'll start bawling their eyes out. They'll start crying and everything. I don't know, maybe that's just my hot take, but low-key sometimes it feels like these British people, they care more about dogs than they care about human beings, yeah. Like, I remember back in the day, I used to always see Dogs Trust charity adverts everywhere. Dogs Trust. These guys be donating so much money to Dogs Trust. And of course, dogs, all animals are mad important, of course. Obviously, don't be so obtuse. But, yeah, bruv, flipping, sometimes it just feels like, yeah, humans don't have that much value. But anyways, my guy's going to give 600 million to dogs, basically, yeah. And I just think it raises the important conversation about generational wealth and actually the real reason as to why you would want that. Because if you do have all of that money, then, what do you do with your life? What's your purpose and whatnot? But besides that, what do you actually want generational wealth for? Because so many times I hear people talk about, I want money so my kids are going to be able to live off it. But really and truly, bro, after your kids, you're not going to be alive to even know them. They might be a prick, yeah? Like, you don't really care about your kids. Like, I know it might sound a bit, you might not agree with that, but I think sometimes this whole generational wealth thing can just be an ego thing sometimes. Like, you just want to be a billionaire just for the sake of it, because you just heard that's the most amount of money you can make, so I want that, yeah? Or generational wealth, I want all the money so my kids can enjoy it. But it's like, deep down, ask yourself, do you really care for that? Because you're not going to know them. And at the end of the day, you need to put yourself first and actually truly ask yourself, what do you want out of this life? Because people always debate happiness versus legacy, like what's more important. And when I was younger, I would probably say legacy. I really cared about my stamp in this world and making a big impact, and I still do. However, bro, every single person right now that's watching this, as of this video coming out, is going to be dead in 100 years. So even if I impact someone or if I annoy someone, whatever happens, we're all going to be dead. Like, we are all going to be dead, yeah? Which is crazy, but that's just the reality of it. So it's like, legacy for what? Once you're dead, you're dead. You will not be able to see what happened after. Like, I don't know which artist has died really young, like Vincent van Gogh or Picasso or whoever, but it's like some of these guys were really appreciated after they died, and now we can look at them like, yeah, they're such a hero, but it's like, he's dead. Like, he died and he was not rated whilst he was alive, and he didn't get to enjoy life. And this life, obviously life isn't all about enjoyment, but bro, what a miserable life, man. What does it even matter? Let's just say right now, my whole life, yeah, I'm trying to become a proper established YouTuber. I really want to make a difference in the world, whatever. I really want to inspire people in a fun, engaging way, and it just doesn't bang, yeah? Maybe I'm enjoying it, maybe I'm not, but it just doesn't bang, yeah? And then when I'm 80, let's just say the internet's still a thing, God knows, the world's probably going to end in like 10 years anyways, yeah. But let's say I die, and then all of a sudden everyone's like, yo, his music, not his music, his YouTube videos were so inspiring. It's like, and all the views start coming in, all the money starts coming in, I can finally start to pay for things, I can look after my family and all of that. But no, that's not going to be the case, because I'll be dead and I wouldn't have been able to do that. So it's just like, sometimes I feel like you should put yourself first. And this whole legacy thing, you know, it's important to make sure that when you die, people are still benefiting from what you've done on this earth. I'm all for that. But when it comes to, you know, sacrificing happiness or whatever just for generational wealth, just so things, you know, generational wealth, legacy, once you're dead, everyone else can benefit. It's like, my brother, you're going to be dead. Maybe you should just focus on actually just working as hard as you can and just enjoying what you can whilst you can. Do you know what I mean? I know KSI always talks about legacy as well, and he's very big on legacy. But yeah, as I've gotten older, matured a lot more, I just feel like legacy is important. But bro, actually fulfilling your purpose and enjoying your family and friends and actually living life is also mad important. That's what life's all about. Do you know what I mean? Again, a rapper that I really like listening to, Logic, yeah. He says a lot of cringy stuff sometimes, but one thing that he does say is that F a legacy, basically. Like, bun the legacy, man. Like, you're gonna be chasing so hard trying to make all this money, and you know, you're just gonna forget things in front of you just because it's working so hard to make all this money. And bro, you're gonna miss out on, you know, kids growing up, all of this stuff, just because they're trying to make bread. So it's honestly a question you need to ask yourself. However, this whole Simon Cowell thing, imagine he's just capping, yeah, and he says this to his son to make his son think, you know what, I'm gonna work so hard so I can, you know, he's gonna make his son think that he's not getting any money. So his son still works hard, still tries to be the best version that he can do, work hard, businesses, whatever he needs to do, start everything up, and then once he turns 18, or once Simon Cowell dies or whatever, then he just realizes that Simon Cowell, his dad, actually said, by the way, I was just trolling, here's all the money, I just wanted to see if you'd work hard. That would be jokes. It's funny how people can jump to conclusions like, yo, you know, bro, if my dad didn't give me all that fortune, I'd be pissed, this and that. It's like, bro, you might just be capping, you never know. However, I don't know, you let me know your thoughts. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe every day, 4 p.m, raw thoughts, all of that jazz. Make sure you subscribe. Love.